Right now, around San Diego, people are having fewer children. In fact, we rank top 3 in the nation. We'll have more from a brand new report. And we have new information following that shocking and deadly head-on bicycle crash at Lake Murray. Plus, it is officially open. We'll take you inside San Diego International Airport's Terminal 1. Hello and welcome to you. Happy fall. Thank you so much for joining us as we take you around San Diego. I'm CBS 8's Jenny Day, and I'll get you caught up on our top stories, and we'll look ahead at what's to come around San Diego. We begin with those new numbers released by the U.S. Census Bureau that show San Diego is the 3rd most childless major city in the country. Essentially, there are fewer children now in San Diego compared to a decade ago. CBS 8's Shannon Handy starts us off.
In 2014, U.S. Census data showed 20% of San Diego's population was under the age of 18. 10 years later, that number has changed. It's now at 17%, making San Diego the 3rd most childless city in the country behind Seattle and San Francisco. Austin and Los Angeles round out the top 5.
This has been an issue for quite a while.
John Weeks is a distinguished professor emeritus of geography at San Diego State University, where he was the director of the International Population Center. He says the numbers don't surprise him, given how expensive it is to live in San Diego compared to a decade ago.
It's not that people don't want to have children. It is rather that, particularly in places like California, the cost of living make it difficult to have sort of the old-fashioned married couple, one earner, family, and children.
Motherhood is not for everyone.
Videos about being childless by choice have been circulating on social media for years. Aside from the cost, other factors include careers, fear of climate change, or people simply not wanting kids.
Maybe you've heard the term DINK, dual income, no kids. That's one of the things that seems to be happening now among younger people.
The shrinking share of kids isn't unique to California. Nationwide, the census data found only Washington, D.C. and Orlando saw an increase in the share of children since 2014. As for where the majority of children are living, Laredo, Texas took the top spot with the largest share of children at 30%. Dr. Weeks says Laredo's location along the Mexico border is likely a big reason why.
Migrants tend to be young adults. They come and they boost the labor force, and they're also of the age to have kids.
Here in San Diego County, we found the largest share is in San Marcos, where kids make up 27% of the population. In Chula Vista, it's 24%. Dr. Weeks explained this, too, is part of a trend where if people can't afford big cities, they move to the cities around them instead.
But if you're moving out of the city of San Diego to find a cheaper place to live and maybe have kids, then you look around at the suburbs.
Dr. Weeks isn't concerned about the shift in numbers, saying while the population isn't booming, it is growing. Others, however, argue fewer kids can mean fewer amenities, such as schools and parks, which makes certain cities less attractive to families. Shannon Handy, CBS 8.
Interesting for sure. All right, well, California Senator Alex Padilla sat in on some immigration proceedings at the downtown federal courthouse here in San Diego this week. Approximately 100 judges have been removed by the Trump administration this year alone. And with a historic backlog of 3.4 million cases nationwide, the Pentagon is now using hundreds of its military attorneys to temporarily serve as immigration judges.
Is not going to improve things. These are judges that may have a legal background, but not when it comes to immigration. We need more immigration judges to do the work of immigration judges.
Yeah, Senator Padilla says he will discuss his observations with his colleagues on Capitol Hill when Congress resumes its session next week. Well, the California Department of Justice has launched an investigation after San Diego police shot and killed a man just a block away from Fay Elementary School. SDPD responded to reports of an armed man on school grounds who appeared to be making threatening gestures with what witnesses described as a sharp object. But now the DOJ is looking into whether or not he was actually armed. And San Diego police are looking for this person wanted in a string of hate crimes. Investigators say the suspect has vandalized churches and shrines in Bankers Hill, Golden Hill, Hillcrest, and North Park with slurs since December. Surveillance video shows this same person at multiple scenes. He is described as heavier set, 25 to 30 years old, wearing dark clothing and glasses. Pretty vague, but police say he strikes in the early morning, spraying black spray paint. Anyone with information should call Crime Stoppers. And a bicyclist who was killed in a head-on collision with another rider last week has been identified. The medical examiner says 68-year-old David Engler from El Cajon died of blunt force injuries he suffered in that crash on the bike path near Lake Murray. San Diego police say he was not wearing a helmet. The other cyclist, a man in his 70s, was also hurt in the crash and taken to a hospital. Those who use the area frequently say everyone needs to slow down and be more aware. Just getting some exercise. Well, the FAA says the engine trouble is what caused a small plane to crash not far from the Fallbrook Airport, where the 72-year-old pilot was trying to land. He couldn't make it, so ended up crashing into an embankment in a nearby nature preserve. The crash started a small brush fire that crews were able to quickly put out. The pilot walked away with minor injuries.
Please no, we're not touching Bethune.
So Bethune will keep its middle school grades after all. Parents and staff presented San Diego Unified Superintendent with data showcasing Bethune's academic achievements, championship sports, strong ASB program clubs, and unique culture of caring. As for Audubon, Fulton, and Golden Hill, they will, however, transition to K-5 schools starting in the 2026-2027 school year. Well, after 4 years of construction, the new Terminal 1 at San Diego International is officially open. There are several seating areas both inside and outside of the terminal, offering beautiful views of downtown and the Coronado Bridge. Inside the terminal, you can find a lot of local favorites like Better Buzz Coffee, the taco stand, Cutwater, and more.
Wonderful. It's beautiful, lots of great restaurants. All the waiting areas are really special too. Good job.
Very comfortable. We came through the old terminal a couple of times, and this is a big improvement. San Diego should be proud.
Airport officials say demolition has already started on the old Terminal 1 to make way for Phase 2 of the project. They will then eventually be linked when it's all complete. And this week, crews with Sandag are deep into Phase 5 of a multi-year effort to stabilize the cliffs in Del Mar. It's a plan expected to hold for the next 30 years. Erosion has long threatened homes, beaches, and the busy coastal rail line. Over the weekend, Coaster and Amtrak service paused so that crews could work directly over the tracks. Sandag says they installed more support columns, extended seawalls, and improved drainage. People we talked to say despite the noise and closures, it is worth it.
We enjoy the view and we like having dolphins in the backyard, but like actually having a bluff that's not going to collapse, for sure.
No doubt about it. Construction runs through 2027. Meantime, testing for a longer-term solution that would relocate the tracks will continue over the next several months. All right, well, ask and you shall receive. More on the tremendous show of support for our veterans and the flags that stand at the Miramar National Cemetery. Back in July, we told you about the deteriorating flagpoles at Miramar National Cemetery and the push to raise funds for repairs. Well, now we can tell you the goal has been met thanks to our viewers. Nearly 300 donations poured in from across the country after our story first aired, raising more than $87,000. Now repair work is underway on the nation's only Avenue of Flags, where 50 flags have proudly stood since 2012. Repairs include replacing corroded parts and threading new cables 30 feet up. We are told the work should be finished in a few months. Thank you so much, for real. All right, well, the high cost of living in San Diego is difficult for many families, including our military families. But this week, a local nonprofit teamed up with Target to help. More than 100 volunteers joined forces on the flight deck of the USS Midway Museum, filling pantry boxes for military families. We talked with Maggie Meza, who works with Blue Star Families. She organized the Restock Your Pantry event.
Families move about every 2 to 3 years, and in that move, unless they take all the food in the car with them, they end up having to donate the pantry items. And so when they come somewhere new, they need to restock that. So we're here to help ease that burden a little bit.
Yeah, always good people out there. Volunteers filled 650 boxes for local Navy, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard families. On average, military families spend about $1,000 out of pocket every time they relocate. Well, new legislation aims to look out for California's foster children by keeping them within their families. A bill headed to the governor's desk prioritizes placing more foster kids with qualified relatives instead of into the general foster care system. Caitlin Radigan is part of California Youth Reconnection, a statewide nonprofit co-sponsoring this bill. As a former foster youth herself, she says she learned years later that when she was being placed into the system, social workers did not try to track down her estranged father.
So I always wondered, what if? Why did the county not find that family member, and why were they not held accountable for not looking hard enough?
The state averages about 35% family placement, and counties that fall under that would receive extra resources to help boost that number. Here in San Diego County, the rate is above the state average, actually, with 41% of foster children ending up with relatives. Governor Newsom has until October 12th to sign or veto it. Chula Vista kicked off Hispanic Heritage Month at this week's City Council meeting. It runs through October 15th. They had student ballet folklorico performances outside city chambers, surrounded by proud parents, residents, and city leaders. The celebration continued then inside, where this was officially recognized as Hispanic Heritage Month. Speaking of, a San Diego muralist is putting culture right in the palm of your hand. In this On the Move report, our Vanessa Paz shows us how MTS's new Pronto card is celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month through art and ridership.
If you've taken a ride on the Blue Line in the South Bay, you've probably seen the eye-catching work of Chula Vista muralist Michelle Guerrero.
I feel like most of my work is inspired by culture, but also inspired by all the children's books I grew up reading as a little kid, and just my experiences as a Latina woman.
And this Hispanic Heritage Month, her art isn't just on the walls of San Diego, but in the palm of your hand. She was selected to design this year's special edition Pronto card.
Oh, I cried. I was really excited. This was really special to me, and I really wanted to make it happen, so I'm really happy and honored to be here.
The piece features her signature character, Chucho.
Chucho's a piñata character that I created, and he appears in almost every single one of my pieces, and he actually stands for resiliency. So he's a piñata that gets broken, but through his cracks he grows and learns self-love.
Resilience, growth, self-love, themes Guerrero says have guided her career and her life.
Art was always something that I did because I dealt with a lot of anxiety and depression, and it was something that kind of helped me cope through my childhood.
Hector Zermeño with MTS said the partnership felt like a perfect fit.
About 47% of our trolley riders identify as Hispanic, and 39% of bus riders identify as Hispanic. So it's a huge number of our riders that are part of the community, so we think they're going to see themselves reflected on this card.
The limited edition cards, like other popular runs for the Padres, Pride, and Comic-Con, are already getting snapped up by riders.
We want them to feel a sense of pride on who they are and what they mean to us as riders. We just want them to feel welcome on our system.
We met Michelle in San Isidro, where she's also working on a new mural along the trolley line, also in partnership with MTS.
I really wanted to include the butterflies because I feel like they symbolize so much to the Latino community. They symbolize hope and migration.
This project, she said, is personal. Her parents met in San Isidro, her father from Puerto Rico, her mother from Tijuana. That family connection is now painted into this mural itself.
I think it's really important to put our culture on a stage and just highlight and celebrate everything that it is. It's such a beautiful culture.
And many are also celebrating the Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah. It started at sundown Monday and runs for 10 days. The holiday is both a celebration and a chance to reflect on the previous year and the changes people want to make in the year ahead. It is often celebrated with apples and honey to symbolize hope for a sweet new year. The high holy days end October 5th with Yom Kippur, also known as the Day of Atonement. Up next, our Sean Stiles gives us his best predictions for fall and winter weather. Keep it here. Welcome back to Around San Diego. Now that the summer of 2025 is behind us and we are heading toward the wet season, we can start looking forward to some much needed rain. And even though we got a little bit of rain over the past week or so, we are nowhere close to where we need to be. So in this week's Earth 8 report, meteorologist Sean Stiles shares with us what another La Nina winter might look like.
Now that we're officially into fall and the rainy season is just about to come to San Diego, I thought it'd be a good time to take a look at what this winter might bring. So I spoke to meteorologist Alex Tardy from Weather Echo. Much like last year, the Pacific Ocean is still in a La Nina and neutral pattern.
Is it possible we'll see a repeat, another dry year? Because the ocean conditions overall have not changed much.
Which points to a repeat performance of last winter.
If the ocean conditions haven't changed much, there's good possibility that the atmospheric conditions may not have changed as well, which would mean potential for more dryness in California this coming winter.
California started out slow, but in the second half, the central and northern part of the state made up on their precipitation and snowpack.
As Northern California, on average, gets 15 to 20 atmospheric rivers, and if they only end up with 8 to 10, maybe 12, that leaves us with deficits.
Which means less water in the reservoirs and less snowpack. And long-range models forecast a drier winter.
When we show a map like that, it's a powerful map, but it's all compared to what's normal. It doesn't mean that it won't rain or snow.
The La Nina also keeps the colder air from the storms to the north.
It's not surprising that if we're expecting drier conditions in much of California, that we're also expecting milder conditions.
Sea surface temperatures also show a large area of warm water over the Pacific Northwest, but the storm track has a hard time moving across that.
Because in La Ninas and neutrals, we tend to see the jet stream go far north into Alaska and then down into the northern Rockies. That's why they tend to be cold and snowy.
The lack of past storms is also impacting this winter's forecast.
What you're seeing is the winters are somewhat carrying over to one another. Like last winter is influencing this winter, at least what we're seeing so far with the ocean.
But Tardy says that doesn't mean California will be shut out.
You still have potential for a couple big storms and some moderate storms, but you don't have the potential for a lot of them. So you're still going to see big wet storms, but they're going to be fewer, farther between each other, so you're going to have long, dry stretches mixed in, and that's what's going to result in your milder, warmer winter and drier conditions.
And now for the wild card. Over the past 15 years, there's been 4 La Ninas, and get this, 3 of them have been really wet, so wet that in 2022 and 23, Mammoth had their snowiest winter ever, 715 inches. So we got a chance. Sean Stiles, Earth 8.
And you can find more of our Earth 8 stories on our streaming channel, CBS 8 Plus. It may even be where you're watching right now. You can download on your TV and watch for free. Well, now to a rare sight off the coast of San Diego. Check this out. A pod of orcas was seen swimming along our coast. San Diego Whale Watch captured this video. While these kinds of killer whales call warm waters their home, sightings in Southern California are few and far between. This pod had about 15 orcas all swimming together. Incredible. And a quick shout out to the thousands of volunteers who helped make San Diego an even better and cleaner place to live. I Love a Clean San Diego held its annual Coastal Cleanup Day, and about 3,000 volunteers fanned out across more than 100 sites across San Diego, including beaches, canyons, rivers, and parks. More than 27 tons of litter were cleaned up from our beaches. Staying at the beach, sunscreen, of course, a San Diego staple, but one local brand is feeling the heat legally. Sunbum is being accused of falsely claiming that 14 of its products are 100% mineral-based or made with naturally derived ingredients that are generally safer for your skin. In a statement to CBS 8, Sunbum said in part, the labels do not create any confusion and are not ambiguous, end quote. Still ahead, more on the Padres win that has united us all week. San Diegans still on cloud 9 after clinching a spot in the postseason. Ooh, you know it by now, but the Padres and Friar faithful are still celebrating. We clinched the playoffs, y'all. The Padres beat the Milwaukee Brewers in extra innings and secured a spot in the postseason. That win solidified their place in the National League wildcard race. This is what it looked like right after the game. It is our turn, my friends, our year. I'll say it, we are going all the way. I'm positive. We do have more highlights on CBS8.com. Go Padres. All right, well, it is also National Dog Week, and the San Diego Humane Society says that is the perfect time to help clear their shelters. Right now, more than 750 dogs, including more than 100 puppies, are crammed into just over 400 kennels. That is 177% capacity. Officials warn the overcrowding is stressing both animals and staff. If you are not able to adopt, you could also help by fostering. And Kids Free October is around the corner. Right now, you can start downloading coupons to plan your visit to more than 60 local museums where children ages 12 and under can get free admission with a paid adult. For the first time, this includes the Navy SEAL Museum, which opens its doors on October 4th. The San Diego Zoo, SeaWorld, and Legoland are also offering their own kids-free deals. Go to the San Diego Museum Council's website for more information. Gosh, right around the corner, right? All right, well, that will do it for us. Thank you so much for your time. As always, thanks for staying informed. For CBS 8, I'm Jenny Day. Take such good care.